shoulders. Hello, River Landing. It's time for chair yoga. Let's go ahead and we're going to start seated and we'll get up here in just a little bit. Good. So sitting up nice and tall in that good yoga position with our feet right below your ankles, right below your knees, and hips and shoulders and ears are in line. And now that I've got you in great alignment, I want you to know that we will use the strap today. So just when we get up, maybe you can grab it and we can use the strap today. Thanks so much for joining me. Let's take a moment and just close our eyes and breathe. Just focusing on our body and what we're going to do for ourselves right now. Good. Relaxing through those shoulders, relaxing through that body. Good. Breathing. Let's go ahead and open up our eyes and hold on to that softness just a little bit and keep your mind clear for this next 30 minutes just so that we can focus on our bodies and not worry about anything. It's so much better for your body to be clear of those kinds of things. So let's take our chin and we're going to stick that chin out and tuck it back in, bringing us back to that tall building. Good, then stick that chin out and bring us back into that tall building. Let's do one more. Stick it out and bring it back. Good. Now let's take that head. Keep your chin slightly tucked in. Let's just shake that head side to side. Good. Hold to one side here, keeping that chin tucked down even a little bit further. Look at the floor. Feel the stretch in the back of the neck. Relax those shoulders and breathe. Good. Bring the head up and back over. Turn that head, tuck your chin and breathe. Good. Bring the head up and bring it back in. Let's tuck that chin. Look at the floor. Keep your shoulders tucked in that back pocket. Good. And then let's lift that head right here. Good. Let's just shrug those shoulders a couple of times, loosening up that shoulder just a little bit. Good. And let's stretch that shoulder a little bit. So let's bring our legs a little bit wider, solid base here. We're going to take one arm, reach it out, stretch it forward, and then we're going to bring it right alongside the knee and slide it down and turn and look behind you. Good. Just getting a little pressure here, pushing a little bit so we feel that stretch in the shoulder. And then let's bring it up. Let's do that other side. So we reach with that twist. Good. Nice tall posture through the chest as we lift and we look behind. Good. And then let's bring it all the way up. Let's reach those arms out. We're going to grab the elbows here. The first one we're going to do is we're going to do everything together, head and shoulders. Turn with a tug of that front arm. Good. Give it a good tug. Bring it back to the center. Let's go to the other side. Bring it back to the center. Let's turn our head one way and the arms the other. And bring it back to the center, turn and twist. Good. Bring it right here. Let's make a circle. Some of us, our circles will be small, some of them will be big because of shoulder impingement. So if you know that you have shoulder problems, maybe your circle is small. And then reverse that circle. Good. Let's put those arms right down here, stretching. Keep the back of your head lifting. So I want you to lift from the back of your head upward, feeling that stretch in the neck. Now tuck your chin. Good, let's bring it all the way up. Let's bring those arms up into a cactus pose. Bringing the elbow and the hand together. Let's crunch here. Stretching through the top of that shoulder. Breathe. Good, inhale, lift and open. And exhale, come forward again. Crunch it. Stretching through the top of that shoulder. Good, and then let's inhale, lift and open. Good. All right, let's roll those shoulders. So yesterday I had kind of advertised that we would do a little bit of hip stretching today, a little bit of back stretching today. So a lot of what we're going to do, you could do in the chair. I'll try to describe those things to you, how they should look in the chair. Let's start marching our feet. But some of them might be harder to do in the chair, so just modify the best that you can for you. Good. All right, just let me, so we talked about this would be a calf stretch right here. Right here, sometimes maybe a forward fold right here, or anchored right there. So that's another thing that we might do a little bit of today. And then, you know, the warrior series, we can always slide side to side. So let's go ahead and stand up if we're going to stand up. And I'm going to turn my chair so that you can see me. But you can stay wherever you're comfortable. So the hips are tight for a lot of reasons. Sometimes it's lower back pain, sometimes it's shoulder problems. So I want you to take your hand and put it on your chair somehow such that your palm is hitting the chair. So we've kind of turned that wrist, if you will, with the palm in the chair. Now I have the hole in my chair, it's easy for me to grab that, but you might not have that. So I just want you to put the palm on the back of the chair, and we're going to turn around and stretch through that shoulder. So everything in our body is connected with a thing called fascia. And the looser the fascia is in certain places, the better it is for other places, including the hips and the back. Good. And so let's turn it back to the center. We're going to do the other side. We take that palm and we put it on the back of the chair, and we stand up tall and we turn away from it, stretching through that shoulder. This is a good posture exercise as well. Good. All right, and then let's turn it back. I'm going to turn to the side, and we're going to do some side work here, so you might want to turn your chair to the side as well. So we're going to start with our feet directly below our hips, and we're going to take a slight step out so that the arm is nice and long and strong here, and it's not bent. But we are going to use the chair as a tool, so I want everybody to have a hand on the top of the chair. We're going to reach up, standing up nice and tall, and we're going to come directly over to the side, stretching through the side muscle right here. There's a muscle here called the psoas muscle. If that is tight, it tightens the other muscles that come around that girdle to the pelvis, and it makes you have a sore back. So let's look up underneath that arm, bending the elbow that's holding the chair, holding here, breathing. Good. And inhale, let's lift it up. Now, I want you to take a tiny step in, and we're going to bend the inside knee. And so we're just going to kind of lean. Remember that toaster analogy I've used before. We're going to try to lean directly to the side, because if we went front or back, we'd get burned. So we're going to lift that arm up, come on over. Good. That knee is bent. It allows us to go a little bit further. We can pooch that hip out. I want you to think about extending from the waist, reaching that arm up. Look underneath your arm. That's going to stack that shoulder. Good. And inhale here. So one more thing on this side. So this time we're going to take a bigger step out. Toes are forward, knees are soft. Inhale that arm, we're coming over again, and notice the difference here. See, we have that wider base, we can push that hip a little bit more, stack your shoulder by looking underneath that arm, and breathe. Good, so we're really stretching into that hip. Elongate from the spine and right from the hip, right from about here, we're going to elongate that arm up and over. And then let's come all the way up. So if you're doing these in the chair, we're just doing lots of side reaches here. Okay, so let's turn around and do our down dog on the chair. So we're gonna grab that chair, doing something in the center before we do the other side, kind of bringing everything back to the middle. Like a little reset. So bring your ears right between your arms, make your back nice and flat. If it were a table, I'd be able to eat my lunch, which is usually just leftovers. And something to drink, and none of it would spill because your back is back flat. Good. Now let's walk our dog here, bending one knee and then the other, kind of resetting those hips to the middle. Good, and then let's stop the knees and push it back, feeling that nice stretch. Let's look up and walk it forward. Good, and we're going to go to that other side. I'll turn my chair so that you can see me. All right, so we start with those feet right below the hips. The arm is nice and straight. Maybe one little tiny step out, so it's not a big wide step yet. We're going to inhale, reach, come on over to the side. We're in between those toasters, remember? So we can't go forward, can't go back. We're stretching through that muscle. And breathing. Inhale, let's come up. Let's bend that inside knee. Inhale up. Come on over to the side. Feel that deeper stretch. We can let that hip pooch out just a little bit. Look underneath that armpit. It's going to stack those shoulders, keep us coming directly to the side. Arm options would be the shoulder or the hip. So some of us can't reach up overhead anymore, so we have some options with those arms. Breathe. And inhale and lift. Now we're going to take that big wide step out. So we're soft knees, toes are forward. Inhaling here, reaching it over to the side. Good. Let that hip pooch out a little bit more to the side. We're pushing, extending through the spine, right from that side muscle. Good. And then let's bring it all the way up. Good job. All right, so let's turn towards the chair. Let's do our down dog on the chair one more time. So we're going to walk ourselves back. Good, bringing those hips back, doing that middle reset. If this hurts your shoulders, we can always bend those elbows, stick that bottom back. Always happy dog tail, never tucking the tail, but keeping that back nice and flat. Otherwise, we're here. For those of you that want to go a little deeper, we could reach down a little further on the chair, or we could go into a forward fold on a block. I know I have lots of different levels sometimes, so you choose what works best for you. And breathe. Okay, bend those knees, and then let's walk it forward. So another thing that can really make our back sore and our hips sore are really tight hamstring muscles. So we're going to work on those right here. So I want you to stand up nice and tall. If you're in the chair, we extend one leg out and we lift through the spine, hinge at the hip. For those of us behind the chairs, we're going to come down almost into a push-up position here, pushing that hip back, feeling that stretch, breathing nice big deep breaths. Good. Elongate through the hip, lift that hip. Good. Now put that foot down, take a step back into almost a warrior one type position here. Bringing your tall building with hips, shoulders, and ears right underneath each other. I want you to go ahead and we're going to take that hip, we're going to swing the hip forward and feel the stretch all the way down the front of the leg into the quadricep muscle on this side. Good, so I'm taking that tailbone from here, tucking it in, so I can get a stretch here and back into that Achilles tendon. We did a little bit of that in mat yoga today. Good, so if you're doing this with me again, we're getting a little extra credit. Good. Now let's shift the weight again and stretch one more time into the hamstring, this time leaving that foot on the floor. So we're going to come forward. Some of us could actually take that chair away and come down a little bit further to really get a deeper stretch. You choose if that's you or not. Good. Push those hips back. Toes are facing forward, feeling that stretch into the hip. I'm not pushing on my knee here, just so you know I'm pushing on that thigh. All right, and then let's come all the way up. And then let's take a break in the middle by kicking those heels up towards the back side. So kick towards the back side. Good. All right, let's do that other side. So that heel comes out, hinging right at the hip. Let's lean it forward. Good. For those of you that are standing behind the chair, we're bending maybe a little bit further here. Breathing, pushing that hip back, focusing on pushing the hip back, hinging, lifting slightly from the back side so that we're not curled at the spine. That's so bad for your spine to curl through here. Holding, breathing, one more breath. Let's put that foot on the floor, take that step back, push that heel into the floor. Good. It's not maybe it's fully warrior one pose, it's a little step forward, but we're going to push that hip forward. So we're trying to stretch into the quadricep muscle, the muscle in the front of the leg, and into the Achilles tendon and the calf. So I'm tilting that pelvis slightly forward, bending that back knee, feeling that stretch in the front of that leg. Good, because tight muscles here connect to tight muscles here, that connect to tight muscles here. It all is related. Good, now let's come up. Keeping that foot on the floor this time, we're going to push that hip back. Some of us could actually come down a little further if we chose to, pushing that chair away. You decide if that's you or if it's not. Pushing that hip back, not locking out the knee. Looking forward, you don't need to look at me, I'm still here. Doing the same thing, I'll tell you when we change. Breathing. Good, let's push it forward and bring that all the way up, kicking those heels towards that back side. Good, let's make them a little more narrow, not so wide. Plant those feet, let's do a little look behind, a little twist, kind of helping those hips kind of get back to the reset position, that centered forward position. All right, and then let's go ahead and have a seat back in our chair, and this is a great time to grab that strap. We're going to work on opening up those hips just a little bit before we finish. So sitting up nice and tall, let's lasso one foot. You choose which one. Because we'll do both. We're going to sit up nice and tall, and I want you to reach forward as far as you can and then pull those shoulders back. In Pilates, that's called imprinting. Good. I want you to let your heel push forward, keeping your knees soft, and we're just going to hold this right here for just a moment. Breathe. Good. Take a big deep breath. Exhale. Can you, in your shoes, if you have shoes on or wherever those toes are, take your toes and put them towards your face. Wow, right? That just deepened that stretch a whole bunch, didn't it? Yeah. Holding here, breathing. Good. Good. One more breath here. Good. Now let's bend the knee a little bit, just soften. Take the strap in the same hand as the leg that's forward. We're going to sit up nice and tall. Try not to rock back at all. We're just going to open to the side. If you need to, we can anchor on the other side, holding onto the arm of the chair or holding onto the base. Good. Sitting up nice and tall. Good. Can you flex that foot just a little bit, pushing the heel forward, taking those toes towards your face, but not locking out the knee. Good, bring it up, bring it into the center. So some of us might have troubles with this next one. If you've done this with me before, you kind of know. We're gonna lift that leg up and bring it over across the other and turn and twist. For some of us, our hips and our knees won't allow this anymore. And so just do the best that you can, or maybe sit with your legs crossed for a moment and we'll be right back with you. Sitting up tall, stretching. Good, let's bring it to the center. We're gonna cross that leg over, take your strap, put it on your lap. We're done with the strap for that foot for now. So if you can't cross here at the knee, cross at the ankle, that's perfectly fine. We're gonna sit up nice and tall and we're gonna lean forward. Feel that nice stretch in the back of the hip, that's that piriformis area. That's the area, sciatic nerve stuff happens there. So lots of stuff that we're stretching right there. So let's rock it. So we're gonna come forward and back, keeping the chest and the ears and the head, everything in line. Chest is slightly forward so that your ears and shoulders can be in line. Rocking it forward and back. Good, feeling that stretch into that side area, the IT band, lots of names for it. Good. All right. Now, I want you to sit up nice and tall. We're going to turn towards that bent knee. I like to anchor sometimes on my chair because this makes me feel slightly tippy. So we're going to sit up tall and we're going to lean forward, pushing our chest towards that knee. Good. Can you, a little bit, take your hand and push that knee down towards the floor? The foot is flexed. We're bringing those toes up towards the shin. Breathing. Nice big deep breaths here. Good. Let's bring it up, bring it back to the center. I want you to take your hand and push away. Can you lean forward in this position? A little bit. I know it's a little painful, but see if you can do it a little bit. Good, and then let's come up. Now let's just rock that. Sitting up tall, just rock it side to side. You should feel a big tug in that hip, right? A little tug in that hip. I feel it. All right, now let's sit back. We're going to take that leg, we're going to bring it up and give it a hug in. Now, I know not all of us can hug their legs in this far. You hug your leg the best that you can. Okay, so if you're down here and you're just pulling that leg up just a little bit, that is perfectly fine. Good. All right, let's turn it right here. Let's kick it out a couple of times. All right, last one there. Ooh, I really felt that on that side. All right, let's do the other side. So we're going to take that strap, we're going to put it underneath that foot. We're going to push that heel out. Good, imprint those shoulders back. Good, breathe. Pushing that heel up, feeling the stretch all the way to the Achilles tendon into your heel. Good. All right. Sorry, I'm having trouble with the strap. It's really a belt. It's kind of weird. All right, now take a breath. Exhale, bring your toes towards your face. Push that heel away. Good. Feel that stretch all the way down that whole leg. We're really working on loosening up those hips and those backs by stretching through the legs as well. It's all attached, it's all together. Good. Now let's release it. Take that strap in the same hand. We're going to open that leg to the side, watching any arms on our chairs. For those of you that are comfortable, we're going to hold it. We're going to open it up to the side. Good. Opening right here, feeling that stretch, adding that twist. Good. Feeling that stretch here, maybe letting that heel come forward a little bit, feeling that stretch there. Good, bringing that leg back, or that strap, opposite hand, opposite arm, lifting, crossing, twisting, sitting up nice and tall, breathing. Nice big breath here. Good. Let's turn it back. We're going to cross it over here, cross up the ankle if you need to. We can put that strap away. Let's flex that foot, and we started out on the other side with that rock, rocking back and forth. Good. Rocking it back and forth. Feeling that nice stretch in the hip, keeping that foot flexed at the top. If you're at the ankle, you're maybe moving that leg back and forth just that little bit. Good. And then now let's turn ourselves towards that bent knee. We're going to anchor, coming forward, stretching that chest forward, stretching through that leg, stretching through that hip. Breathing, nice big deep breath. Let's bring it all the way up, turn it back to the center, and we're going to rock it back and forth just a little bit. Rock it back and forth. Kind of loosen up those muscles in those hips. Good. All right, now push it to the side. We're going to lean forward into that stretch. Breathing. One more breath here. Good. Now we're going to sit back in that chair. We're going to pick that leg up and hug it in the best that you can. I know that not all of us can get real far. That's okay. Stick that chest a little bit forward. Feel that breath. Expanding into those lungs. Good. Now let's put those feet down and let's just hug one knee in at a time. Getting ready for our final relaxation. One more knee here. Good. And then let's scoot back in that chair, closing our eyes, getting ready for that final relaxation. This is a great time to turn the TV off and do your own meditation if you'd like. We're relaxing in that chair, breathing nice big deep breaths, softening through the body. Just taking this time to just quiet the mind and breathe. Let's slowly bring our focus back into the room. Open up those eyes. Take a big deep breath. Hands come to prayer. Thank you so much for joining me today in Chair Yoga. I hope that you are stretched and energized and ready for whatever the day brings. Hopefully something fun. Connect with someone you haven't talked to in a while and just have a blessed day. Namaste.